YouTube, fellow friends, friends on Santa's sleigh, friends in the trailer park across the street, friends at the Exxon gas station getting gas while smoking a cigarette. Anyhow, we're going to talk about another subject that's been on my mind. Maybe I'm following too much with Randy Blockett and maybe some of his haters and followers or whatever, but I'm going to discuss LiveScope. LiveScope is new to me. However, I've been without LiveScope or any forward-facing sonar for years. However, I do have LiveScope now. I've had it for about 6 months now. I'm still getting acclimated to it. I see the benefits of it for certain times of the year in certain locations. There are some situations, especially on the river systems, where LiveScope is not going to do you any justice because there's just so much going on. I think LiveScope topic is very in between for a lot of anglers. There's a group of guys, especially the older generation, they just they think it's ruining the sport. Times are changing, honestly. Times are changing. It's almost like underwear. You get new underwear, and you may go from boxer briefs to tighty whities back to the boxer briefs again. So again, it's just one of those things where you have to evolve with the revolution, especially in the larger tournament trails circuits. Especially if you have a lot of money. If the entry fees are very expensive, I think having the advantage of having the upmost electronics on your boat is very crucial to keep up with the Joneses or keep up with the guys who can afford that. It is kind of a double-edged sword. I think some of the rules in the larger tournament trail scenes, I don't think they've adjusted the rules settings to accommodate some things. Like, I don't think it's fair for if I get stuck on a sand flat or whatever and I want to be able to get on my boat and push it across it to get out, or if I want to get out of my boat, my big boat, and push it across the flat, or break out a chainsaw and cut a branch off because I want to go in some really skinny backwater, and without being disqualified. I don't think the rules have been adjusted lately, and I think it's time for that, to have some kind of rule changes so it's kind of an equal playing field. So if a guy can have LiveScope and have $30,000 of electronics, but I also think it's fair for a guy to be able to carry an extra, 25 gallons of gas and a safety can, which is actually regulated by OSHA and all these larger entities who actually make that stuff for safe haven. So I think there needs to be some adjustment with the rules so it's a fair playing field for everybody, so I can get some of this shit off my mind and stop hearing, oh, well, I can't get out of my boat and push it across the flat or cut a branch off. However, some of these other guys are using LiveScope and it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. So, again, to make it a happy medium for everybody, I think that would be a correct change. Change the rules a little bit to accommodate. If you guys are going to allow all these forward-facing sonar where you can see the fish, especially when it pertains to guys who can't really, the working man who actually can't afford a LiveScope, and they can barely make the entry fees and barely make it to some of the events. But again, they do have a diehard passion. I think you just need to accommodate for everybody. I know it's kind of hard to make changes on behalf of everybody, but I think to make it fair across the board, make some changes to adjust for the guy who's willing to, pull that boat across and let him get wet in January or February or whatever to be able to get some skinny backwater in a fiberglass boat and make it fair for the LiveScope guys. If they want to have 10 graphs on the front of the boat, hey, have 10 LiveScope units, Lowrance, active target, the Humminbird Live, the Garmin LiveScope on the front of their trolling motors, whatever. So again, it's just more of a reference. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace out.